So for this time, we're going to discuss about the analysis of the short column subjected to axial compression and biaxial bending manual calculation. So for our learning outcomes at the end of this manual, students will be able to apply the principles from uniaxial bending in calculating the strength of the column about the x-axis and y-axis. Letter B, apply the Bressler equation in determining the strength capacity of the column. Let us say we have here a perspective view of our column, and we have here our x-axis, y-axis, and we have here our PU, which is eccentric siya along the x-axis and y-axis. Now, talking about biaxial bending, meaning meron tayong mga moments about the two axes. So, we have here our moment about the x-axis. So, meaning, yung PU natin, meron siyang eccentricity along the y-axis. And we call that as our E sub y. Then, we have also our moment about the y-axis. So, meaning, meron itong eccentricity along the x-axis, yung PU natin. So, for our example, let us say we have here a square column. Tsaka equally distributed yung mga rebars along its sides. So, let us say that we have here our dimension along the x-axis to be 400 millimeters and the dimension along the y-axis to be 400 millimeters. Given yung axial compressive force, which is 900 kilonewton, yung factored moment natin about the x-axis, yung moment natin about the y-axis. Yung clear concrete cover, 40 millimeters, our FC prime to be 28 megapascal. And yung diameter ng rebars natin is 25 millimeters. The diameter of our ties is 10 millimeters. And the yield strength ng ating bakal to be 414 megapascal. So we're going to find here the demand capacity ratio. So for our solution, the first thing na gagawin is to determine the value for our beta. Since our FC prime is equivalent to 28 megapascal, therefore our beta is just equivalent to 0.85. After that, we're going to determine the yield strain. So Fy lang all over Es. By direct substitution, we'll get the value to be 0.00207. Then, we're going to consider the bending about the x-axis. So, if that is the case, if we have the bending about the x-axis, so meaning yung B natin is equivalent to the dimension along the x-axis to be equivalent to 400 millimeters. And our H here to be equivalent to the dimension along the y-axis, which is 400 millimeters. For the layer for our bars, our N bar 1 is 3 siya. So, yung ginawa dito is that yung rebars dito sa first layer, meaning dito sa top, tatlo. Sa second layer naman, dalawa. And dito naman sa ilalim is yung ika-third na layer. So, tatlo. So, the number of bars sa first layer natin is 3. So, by solving the steel area for the first layer, we'll get 1,472.62. Sa second layer naman, dalawa lang yung bakal. So, the steel area is 981.75. And the number of bars naman sa third layer is tatlo. So, the same lang sa first layer, 1,472.62. Then, yung mga centroidal distances ng ating mga bakal, we have here our D1 is just equivalent to C sub S. So, 62.5. Yung centroidal distance naman ng bakal sa gitna or second layer is just H all over 2. Then, yung depth naman ng ating bakal sa third layer is 337.5. Next, we're going to solve for the eccentricity along the y-axis. So, i-divide lang natin yung moment along the, moment about the x-axis divided by PU. So, nag-multiply tayo dito ng 1,000 kasi yung masosolve natin na value is in terms of meter. So, we have to multiply 1,000 para ma-convert natin ito sa millimeters. After that, we're now going to solve for our balance eccentricity along the y-axis. So, this is our equation for solving for our C for balance condition. By direct substitution, so 199.7 mm siya. So, ibig sabihin, ano siya, no? Below siya sa h all over 2, yung C sub B natin. After that, we're going to solve for our A sub B. So, we're just going to multiply C sub B with the beta. And it is now equivalent to 169.75. After that, we're going to sketch the strain diagram and the stress diagram for the balance condition. So, kanina, nasolve natin yung D sub 1, yung D sub 2, tsaka yung D sub 3. And also, nasolve din natin yung C balance, di ba? Which is equivalent to 199.7 siya. So, ibig sabihin, less than siya sa H all over 2. So, ito na ngayon yung ating strain diagram sa compression side, tsaka strain diagram natin sa tension na side. So, yung strain ng concrete is 0.003. Yung strain naman ng reinforcement natin sa first layer to be the epsilon S sub 1. And the strain ng ating reinforcement sa second layer, epsilon S sub 2. And of course, yung strain natin sa extreme, no, na tension, steel, ano siya, yield siya. So, take note, sa balance condition, dapat simultaneous, no, na mag-yield yung concrete tsaka yung bakal natin. And also, nasolve din natin yung A sub B kanina. So, yan na ngayon yung depth ng compression block. And the stress is 0.85 FC prime. So, yung compressive force ng ating compression block, magpapass through yan sa centroid, which is located to be A sub B divided by 2 from the top. And take note, yung location ng plastic centroid natin is H all over 2 lang. So, again, yung C sub C, magpapass through to dito sa centroid ng ating compression block. If we're going to take our moment about dito sa gitna, no, sa plastic centroid. So, yung moment arm ng C sub C natin is now equivalent to H all over 2 minus yung A sub B divided by 2. Next naman is yung Fs sub 1. Ito yung compressive force ng ating bakal sa first layer. Since compression siya, so therefore, dapat same sila ng direction ng C sub C. And yung moment arm naman nito sa ating plastic centroid is H all over 2, babawasan na natin ng D sub 1. Then of course, we have here our Fs2. Ito yung tensile force ng ating bakal sa second layer. Tension siya kasi na siya, pumasok na siya sa tension side yung bakal natin. And wala siyang moment arm, no? Kasi dito tayo magmo-moment sa plastic centroid, sa H all over 2. Next, we have our Fs3. So, yung moment arm naman nito is D3. Babawasan lang natin ng H all over 2. Yan lang. And of course, ito yung approximate na location ng ating balance na load. Then, meron din itong balance eccentricity, no, along the y-axis. So, para ma-solve natin yung yung i-balance, dapat iso-solve muna natin yung balance moment. Then, i-divide lang natin to ng balance load to solve for our i-balance along y-axis. So, ito na ngayon ang equation natin for the strain ng ating bakal sa first layer. Since compression, so dapat mauuna yung C sub B sa D sub 1 para maiwasan natin yung negative, no, na mga values. So, by direct substitution, 0.00206 siya. So as you can see, less than siya sa yield strain. So meaning nito, yung stress natin will be less than 414 megapascal or yung yield natin na stress. So by direct substitution, 412 lang siya, 0.22. Next naman is yung strain natin sa second layer, meaning siya, 'di ba, sa tension yung bakal natin. So pinauna natin yung D2 kaysa sa C sub B para maiwasan yung negative na value. So by direct substitution, ito lang yung ating strain. So since less than siya sa yield strain, meaning less than sa yield stress yung stress ng bakal. So this is now equivalent to 0.9 megapascal. Then also we have our strain sa ating third layer. Since tension siya, so we are expecting here na mag-yield yung strain natin. Kasi balance condition. So by direct substitution, we'll get a value of 0.00207, which is also equal to the yield strain. So meaning still yields. That is the case, yung FS3 natin is now equivalent to our Fy. So 414 megapascal yung FS3. After that, since yung D1 natin kanina is less than siya sa A balance, meaning yung layer ng reinforcement natin is within siya sa compression block. If that is the case, magde-deduct tayo ng 0.85 Fc prime doon sa stress ng ating bakal. So you can see here, nag-less na tayo ng 0.85 dito sa FS1. So if that is the case, yung FS1 natin will now be equivalent to 574.70 kN. Also, yung D sub 2 natin is 200. Pero greater siya sa A balance. So meaning, yung layer ng reinforcement natin is outside na siya doon sa compression block. So ibig sabihin, hindi na tayo magde-deduct ng 0.85 Fc prime. So by substituting the values, we'll get our FS2 to be 0.88 kN. Then lastly, yung D sub 3 is equivalent to 337.5. So greater siya sa A balance. So again, no need na magdeduct pa tayo ng 0.85 Fc prime. Kasi obvious naman kasi tension na to. Tension steel. So lang siya. Yung FS3 natin is 609.66 kN. So, yung C sub C natin is, ito yung equation, 0.85 Fc prime, yung stress, times yung area ng compression block sa balance condition. So, by direct substitution, we'll get a value for our CC here to be this value. Then, mag-sum up tayo ng forces along x-axis. So, therefore, yung PBX natin is just equivalent to CC plus FS1 ng mga compression, di ba? Minus FS2 minus FS3. Direct substituting the values, yung PBX natin is this value. And then, mag-moment din tayo doon sa centroid. So, ito na ngayon yung equation natin. So, by direct substitution, we'll get a value for our balanced moment to be this value. Since meron na tayong moment, balance moment, tsaka balance na load, masasolve na natin yung eccentricity, balance eccentricity along the y-axis. So we get the value here to be 220.79 millimeters. After that, we're going to evaluate if tension controlled siya or compression controlled. So yung E sub y natin is 111.11 millimeters, less than siya sa balance na eccentricity, 220.79. So meaning compression controlled siya. So, kung compression controlled, meaning a large portion ng ating cross-section ng ating column will be subjected to compression. If that is the case, hindi mag-yield yung steel natin doon sa sa third layer. So, ito naman yung strain diagram and stress diagram for bending natin about the x-axis. So, we have your x, y, yung dimension natin. Then, i-recall natin yung location ng D sub 1, D sub 2, tsaka D sub 3. So, since compression controlled, again, sabi ko nga kanina, a large portion ng cross-section ng beam natin will be subjected to compression. If that is the case, yung C dapat natin will be greater than H all over 2. So, ito yung approximate na location ng C. Ito yung hahanapin natin. So, that is now our strain diagram for the compression na part. And then, ito naman yung ano natin, strain sa tension na side. As you can see here, since lumiit no, yung strain diagram natin sa tension, so we have here an expectation na hindi mag-yield yung bakal natin sa third layer. So, ito yung strain ng concrete. Ito naman yung strain natin sa first layer. So, may expectation tayo dito na i-equal siya or sosobra yung value niya sa yield strain. And then, as you can see here, yung strain naman natin sa second na layer ng reinforcement, maliit, no? So, less than siya sa yield strain. And also, yung strain natin sa third layer, we have here an expectation na less than siya sa yield strain. So, after that, also dito, in-approximate ko lang no, yung location ng ating A-balanced. Sorry, hindi na pala siya A-balanced. Ito na ngayon yung A. That is the depth of our compression block. So, yan. Ito na ngayon yung A natin. Beta 1 times C. Ano lang to assumption ko to na lalampas siya sa H all over 2. Pero you could also assume na ano siya, less than siya sa H all over 2 dito banda. Okay, so we have our stress here ng compression block natin to be 0.85 FC prime. Ito naman yung centroid ng ating compression block. Dito magpapass through no, yung C sub C natin. So the location of our centroid ng ating compression block is A all over 2 pa rin. And ito yung H all over 2. So yung C sub C natin is ito na siya. So magpass through siya dito sa centroid ng compression block. Also, if magmo-moment tayo dito sa sa ika-third na layer, magkakaroon tayo ng moment arm na D3 minus ang A all over 2. Then, we have here our FS1. Since compression siya, same sila dapat ng direction with the C sub C. So, yung moment arm naman ito, if magmo-moment tayo dito sa centroid no, ng bakal natin sa third layer, that is now equivalent to D3 minus ang D sub 1. And also, ang FS2. FS2, this is the force no, ng bakal sa second layer. Since nasa na siya, compression no, na part. So, meaning same na sila ng direction with the FS1 and C sub C. And yung moment arm naman nito is lang siya, D3 minus H all over 2 or D2. Palitan ko na lang to ng D siguro, D sub sige, as is ko na lang. Anyway, equal lang naman sila. Okay, so D3 minus D2 or D3 minus H all over 2. Kasi same lang kasi yung value ng D sub 2 natin with H all over 2. Then, we have here our FS3. No, ito yung force ng ating bakal dito sa tension sa third layer. Tension steel sa third layer. So, wala tayong moment arm kasi dito tayo mag-moment mamaya. So also, ito yung approximate na location ng PN sub X. And of course, meron itong eccentricity along the y-axis in which nasolve natin kanina. And meron itong Since meron kang load, tapos may eccentricity meaning meron kang moment, no, about the x-axis. So, ito yung mga assumptions ko para ma-solve yung C. Okay. And, also, since magmo-moment pala tayo sa third layer, so meaning yung moment arm ng P and X, no, papunta dito sa third layer natin is E sub Y plus D3 minus H all over 2. So, solving for C. So, ito yung assumption natin for the first one. Meaning, yung strain sa first layer natin, mag-yield siya. So, assume still yields. So, therefore, yung Fs1 natin will be equivalent to F sub Y. So, of course, our steel here, no, is inside the compression block. So, meaning, magde-deduct tayo ng 0.85 Fc prime doon sa stress ng ating bakal. So, Fs1 is equivalent to this one. So, by direct substitution, we'll get the value of our Fs1 here in terms of Newton. Then, yung strain naman ng ating bakal sa second layer, we have here an expectation na less than siya sa yield strain. So, steel will not yield. So, meaning ang Fs2 natin is equivalent to epsilon S2 ES. So, by directly substituting the equation for our strain sa second layer, tsaka unknown, no, yung C natin. So, ito na ngayon yung magiging equation ng Fs2. As you can see here, na nagdeduct tayo ng 0.85 Fc prime, no? Kasi we have here an expectation na or inassume natin na within the compression block yung second layer natin. Anyway, mamaya i-check rin natin if tama yung assumption natin or hindi. Then, yung strain ng ating bakal sa third layer is less than sa yield strain. So, steel will not yield. So, therefore, yung Fs3 natin is equivalent to this equation. So, in terms of C siya. So, by direct substituting it sa ating equation here, we'll get this equation in terms of C. So, after that, solve din natin yung equation ng ating C sub C in terms of C. Take note, yung A natin is equal siya sa beta times C, diba? So, by direct substituting our equation, we have here now our C sub C in terms of C. So, after that, mag-sum up lang tayo ng forces along x-axis to be equivalent to 0. So, therefore, yung P and X natin will now be equal to CC plus Fs1 plus Fs2 minus ang ating Fs3. So, substituting the equations ng CC, Fs1, Fs2, Fs3, so we'll get here the equation for our P and X. After that, isosolve natin yung mga moment arms ng ating mga forces doon sa Fs3. So, ito yung moment arm ng ating CC. So, D3 minus A all over 2. So, yung A natin is equivalent to beta 1 times C. Substituting our D3 and our beta 1, we'll get this equation ng ating moment arm. Next is the moment arm naman ng Fs1 to Fs3. So, D3 lang minus D1. So, substituting the values, we'll get the value for our moment arm. After that is the moment arm ng Fs2 papunta dun sa Fs3. So, direct substituting D3 and D2 ng mga values. Ito na yung value. Then, yung moment arm naman ng ating P and X papunta dun sa Fs3. So, EY lang plus H all over 2 minus CS. So, substituting the values, we'll get the value for our moment arm. After that, mag-sum up lang tayo ng moment doon sa third layer sa Fs3. So, ito na ngayon yung yung ating equation. Again, when it comes to directions, mag-refer lang kayo doon sa ating diagram, sa stress strain diagram. Kung ano yung mga rotations, kung positive ba siya or negative. So, substituting the equations, then gamit lang tayo ng shift solve na function ng ating calculators, we'll get the value for our C here to be equivalent to 269.66 megapascal. Millimeters. So after that, we're going to check if the calculated C is correct by verifying the assumptions. So direct substitute natin yung C dito sa equation ng ating strain sa first layer ng reinforcement. So we'll get a value of 0.0023. So greater siya sa yield strain. So meaning tama yung assumption. After that, substitute naman natin to sa equation ng ating strain no, sa second layer, 0.00077, less than siya sa yield strain. So still did not yield as assumed. So tama yung assumption. Sa third layer naman, substitute. So mali yung equation ng strain natin dito. Let me correct. So, ito na. Substituting the values. So, we'll get 0.0075 naman. So, again, less than pa rin siya sa yield strain. So, therefore, yung still natin did not yield. So, as assumed. So, tama yung assumption. So, after that, solve naman natin yung A natin. So, this is just equivalent to beta 1 times C. So, 0.85 lang times yung C na na-solve. So, we get this value. So, since D1 natin is 62.5, less than siya sa A, so still is within the compression block. So, meaning tama yung assumption natin. Next naman is yung D2 natin is equivalent to 200, less than siya doon sa ating A. So, meaning still is within the compression block. So, as assumed, tama yung assumption. Nag-less tayo ng 0.85 FC prime doon sa stress ng ating bakal. Next, since D3 is 337.5, greater siya sa A, so therefore still is outside the compression block, so tama yung assumption as assumed. Now, since all assumptions were verified, so the calculated value ng C natin is correct. So after that, pwede na natin itong masubstitute doon sa mga equations natin to solve our strength capacities. So calculate na for PNX, MNX, phi PNX, and phi MNX. So, ito yung equation ng ating nominal na axial force along the x-axis. So, by direct substituting the value of our C here sa equation, we'll get our PNX here to be this value. After that, masosolve na natin yung moment naman natin about the nominal moment about the x-axis. So, actually, pwede kayong mag-moment, no? Doon sa centroid to get the MNX. Pero, mahaba na yung calculation. So, yung gagawin na lang natin, shortcut. Yung masosolve na PNX dito, you multiply it na lang by the eccentricity. So, you'll get the same answer pa rin. You'll get a value of 295.91. After that, we're going to solve naman for our phi. So, to solve for our phi, mag-refer tayo doon sa strain ng ating reinforcement doon sa tension, no? Doon sa third layer. So, yung na-solve natin kanina is 0.00075. Less than siya sa yield strain. So, meaning, ito siya. Yung phi natin is equivalent to 0.65. So, tama yung ating evaluation na compression controlled siya. So, ito na ngayon yung calculation to solve for the design na strength capacity. 0.65 times 2,663.23, you'll get 1,731 to be your phi PNX. So, yung phi MNX naman natin is 295. Imo-multiply yan lang ng 0.65, you'll get your phi MNX na. So, take note, ano pa lang to, bending pa lang about the x-axis. So, we still have a remaining na mga strength capacities to solve for the bending about the y-axis pa. So, considering the bending about the y-axis, so, if that is the case, yung b naman natin will be equal naman to the y. Tsaka yung h naman natin will be equivalent to the x naman. So, yung area ng mga steels natin, kasi symmetrical lang naman sila, so the same lang naman. Tsaka yung D1, D2, tsaka yung D3 is, since the same lang sila na tig 400 mm yung dimension, so as is. So, yung PU, call out natin. Then yung MUY natin is 150. These are needed to compute naman for the eccentricity naman along the x-axis. So you divide the two, you'll get the value to be 166.67 naman to be the eccentricity along the x-axis. Then also, since the same lang yung yung dimension nila. So yung na-solve natin kanina na balance eccentricity, so yun pa rin yung gagamitin natin. So same lang kasi yung value. However, kung iba na yung dimension, let's say 400 by 500 mm yung dimension ng ating column, you have to resolve again for the balance eccentricity along the x-axis kasi iba na yung value. So nagkataon lang na same yung balance eccentricity na value because square yung column natin. So since yung eccentricity natin along the x-axis is less than sa balance eccentricity natin along the x-axis, so compression controlled pa rin. Again, for this hindi ko na siya ginawa ng stress strain diagram, pero sa calculations ninyo dapat i-sketch nyo pa rin yung yung stress strain diagram talaga para tawag nito, ma-visualize ninyo and at the same time tama yung magiging sign conventions na magagamit niyo sa inyong calculations. So I will leave that na lang to your self-study kung ano ba yung yung diagram. Okay? So again, we're going naman to solve for our C for the bending about the y-axis. So ito yung assumptions ko. So assume steel yields. Then, so therefore, Fs1 natin is just equal to Fy. So, steel natin is inside the compression block. So, magle-less tayo ng 0.85 Fc prime dun sa stress ng ating bakal. So, we'll get a value of this one. Also, yung strain natin sa second layer, again, steel will not yield. So, ito naman yung equation ng Fs2. After that, dito, inassume ko na yung steel is siya outside the compression block. Since outside sa compression block, so therefore hindi na ako magde-deduct ng 0.85 Fc prime dito sa stress ng bakal. Again, assumption lang to. You still have to counter check it mamaya if may ma-solve na kayo na value ng C. So substituting the equations and the values, you'll get the equation for your Fs2 in terms of C. Then, yung strain sa third layer, steel will not yield. So, ito naman yung equation ng stress. Then, you substitute it sa sa equation ng Fs3. So, substituting the values. So, we'll have now here the equation for our Fs3 in terms of Cc. So, yung Cc naman natin, so, ito naman yung equation niya. Then, sum up na ng forces along the x-axis. So, again, it is necessary na meron kayong stress strain diagram. Okay? So, ito yung equation ko. Direct substituting the equations for your forces in terms of C. So, meron na kayong equation ng P and Y. After that, isolve nyo naman ulit yung mga moment arms ng CC papunta sa Fs3. Ito yung mga moment arms, yung mga values. Yung moment arm ng P and Y natin to Fs3, so X na siya. This is now equivalent to Ex plus H all over 2 minus C sub S. So substituting the value, you'll get the value for the moment arm ng inyong P and Y. Kung mag-moment tayo doon sa third layer. So, solving for C, continuation. So, mag-sum up tayo ng moment again sa ika-third na layer. So, ito na yung magiging equation natin. So, using the shift solve na function ng inyong calculator, you'll get this value. After that is to check if the calculated C is correct by verifying the assumptions. So, again, you direct substitute the value of your C sa equation ng mga strains ninyo. Ito na yung value. So, since greater siya sa yield strain, so steel yields as assumed. So, tama yung assumption. Sa second layer, hindi siya nag-yield. Less than siya sa yield strain. So, as assumed, tama. After that, sa third layer, let me correct this. This should be D3 minus C. Okay, so yung value is 0.00154. So, less than siya sa yield strain. So, still did not yield. So, as assumed, tama. For that, you solve again for your A. Then, i-counter check ninyo if tama yung assumption ninyo na yung steel ba ninyo is within or outside pa sa compression block. So, since yung D1 is 62.5, less than siya sa A. So, within the compression block. So, as assumed, tama. And then kanina, yung nag-assume tayo no na sa second layer na yung steel natin is outside the compression block. So tama kasi yung dito natin is 200 pero yung A is only ano siya 189. So outside the compression block yung second layer. Sa third layer, yung D3 is 337.5 greater than A. So still is outside the compression block so as assumed so tama siya. So, since all assumptions were verified to be correct, so the calculated value of RC is correct. So, that is the case, pwede nating ma-solve yung mga strength capacities, nominal tsaka yung design. So, substituting the value no, of your C doon sa equation ng inyong PNY, so you'll get this value. After that, to solve na for your moment. So, ano lang, multiplyan nyo lang to ng eccentricity along the x-axis. So, 331 lang siya, 0.22 kilonewton meter. So, after that, solve nyo naman yung yung phi. So, yung strain natin sa ika-third na layer is 0.00154. So, less than siya sa yield strain. So, meaning, 0.65 yung magiging value ng ating phi. So, tama kasi based on our evaluation kanina, compression controlled siya. So, phi PNY is just equivalent to 1987. You just multiply it by phi, you'll get this value. Phi MNY, itong 331, you just multiply it by 0.65, you'll get this value naman. So, after getting the values, mga strength capacities about the x-axis, tsaka sa y-axis, so, pwede nyo nang masolve naman yung P sub O tsaka yung phi PO. So these are necessary kasi gagamitan natin to ng Bressler equation. So to solve for your P sub O, ito yung pure compression solve nyo muna yung gross na area. So lang B times H, 400 times 400, you'll get this value. So, after that, you solve for the total steel area kasi 8 yung bars natin You just multiply it by the pi 25 squared all over 4. You'll get this value naman. After that, you substitute it sa equation ng pure compression na equation. So, by direct substitution, you'll get this value. So, phi P sub O naman, kasi pure compression siya, so compression controlled. So, yung phi mo is 0.65. So, you'll get this value. After that, you solve for the phi Pmax. So, ang Pmax natin is, lang siya, 0.8 times yung P sub O. According to sa, sa code. So, you multiply 0.8 dito sa value ng P sub O. You'll get this value naman. Then, yung phi Pmax naman is, since compression controlled, so 0.65 lang times 4,272.25. Kasi to siya, mga pure compression. So, 0.65 yung phi natin. So, this is now equivalent to 2,776 yung phi Pmax. So, after that, isosolve na natin yung strength capacity talaga, phi Pm. So, using the Bressler equation or reciprocal formula, ito yung equation. So, substitute ninyo yung mga values ng phi Pnx, phi Pny, tsaka yung phi Po. So, dapat less than siya or equal sa phi Pmax. Kung whichever is the minimum value dito sa dalawa, yun yung mag-govern na phi Pn natin. Okay? So, by direct substitution, ito na ngayon yung value, 940. Tsaka yung phi Pmax natin is 2,776.96 kilonewton siya. So, since less than, yung na-calculate natin na 940 sa 5P max, meaning yan yung mag-govern. Okay? So after that, we will now be able to solve for the demand capacity ratio. So yung demand, meaning yan yung ano natin, yung factored na load. Okay? Yung capacity, yun yung 5PN, nakakasolve lang natin. So 900 divided by 940.01, so you'll get a value of 0.96. Since this is less than 1.00, so meaning safe. So that ends our lecture for short column subjected to axial compression and biaxial bending.